I was in a bus one day and someone said they don't sell us for this country. They don't take us borrow money. One woman answered and said, "No, they never use me borrow money. I know they among." Like the boy said, "I know what I'm talking about. They don't use us borrow money. They don't sell us for this country." Why did they say that? Because as at now, hey, my brothers, my sisters, my mommy and daddies, our debt that we are servicing, like the debt we are paying monthly, is now above the income that we have in Nigeria. You can imagine you are earning like 80,000 naira and you are servicing a debt of 200,000 naira every month. Like, you see that we are in for it. We don't enter. Like, we don't enter one chance. May God help us so in this country. Before we go ahead with the details of today's news, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe. Hit the like button. Most importantly, click on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we post a new video. Without further ado, follow me as we dive right into the details of today's news. The federal government planned to borrow about 720 billion through FGN bond auctions in the third quarter, that is Q3 22, has come under fresh threat following increasing investors' appetite for higher yields triggered by the adoption of tight monetary policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN). Recall that CBN, in response to the 5 consecutive month rise in inflation rate to 18.6% in June, launched a tight monetary policy regime May 2022, raising the monetary policy rate MPR first by 150 basis points to 13% in May and again by 100 basis points to 14% in June. This development effectively spurred increases in money market yields while intensifying investors' appetite for higher returns across all instruments in all segments of the market. Consecutively, the first undersubscription was recorded in FGN bond auction this year, as the auction held in July recorded 37% undersubscription, and as a result, Debt Management Office (DMO) could not achieve its sales target. According to the FGN bond auction calendar for Q3 22, that is the third quarter of this year, released by the Debt Management Office (DMO), the FG plans to raise between 630 billion naira and 720 billion naira during the quarter. The calendar shows that the federal government, through the DMO, seeks to raise between 210 billion naira and 240 billion naira in each of the 3 months in the quarter through subscription in 3 tranches of 10 years, 10 years, and 20 years original tenure respectively. But the 225 billion naira FG bond offered by the DMO at the July auction recorded 37% under subscription, as total subscriptions stood at 142 billion naira. Through the 20-year bond, 13% FGN January 2042 recorded 40 over subscription, as subscription stood at for 104.92 naira, as against 75 billion offered by the DMO. The 3 years 13.53% FGN March 2025 and 10 years 12.50% FGN April 2032 recorded 84% and 66% under subscription respectively, as subscriptions, pardon me, that was a mouthful, as subscriptions stood at 11.75 billion naira and 25.62 billion naira respectively, as against 75 billion naira offered for each bond tenor. Consequently, the DMO could only achieve total sales of 123.9 billion naira, representing 45% of its target for the month. This was in spite of slight increases in the interest rates on the bonds offered by the DMO. The auction result shows that the DMO raised the marginal rate for the 3 years, 10-year and 20-year bonds to 11% from 10%, 13% from 12.5%, and 13.7% from 13.2%, respectively, in June auction. Investment analysts, however, noted that for the DMO to attract investors to future auctions, it would have to offer higher rates given the inflation rate of 18.6% and MPR at 14%, while noting that in spite of the impact of scarcity of funds and increasing appetite triggered by the CBN's tight monetary policy, on future bond auctions, they expect the DMO to meet its funding target of 3.53 trillion naira to finance the projected deficit of 7.35 trillion in the FGN's 2022 budget. Speaking in this regard, analysts at FBN Quest Securities, associated company in the First Bank Group, said the total amount raised by the DMO this year amounts to 1.7 trillion if we include sales based on non-competitive allotment. The gross amount raises to 1.96 trillion. This excludes smaller sums raised via other instruments, including Sukun and the FGN savings bonds. This is where I'm going to draw the curtain for now. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please make sure you subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.